Okay, so this is Vince with Listings to Leads, and awesome. Thanks, Joanne. This is the Monday morning call, which we do every week to talk about how to get started with our program. And if you're brand new to us, just remember you can always log in here on the top right. We have a blog down here. When you come to our homepage, there's always a lot of the latest ideas. I do want to point out to you this link right here about 31 seller leads in 2 days. This is a little more advanced. It's not completely, beginner stuff because we do get into just the basics here today. But there are a number of tools included in the Listings to Leads platform, and a lot of them are designed to capture seller leads. They come in the way of landing pages, which we will briefly look at today. But you can also, with just a click of a button, incorporate your landing page with a pre-written letter that you can either use in email or in print format. And these are all kind of pre-written stuff. So all you have to do to take advantage of something like that is go into the landing page section and type in the name of the area you're working in. It might be Elk Grove, it might be Cincinnati, it might be a small area like a development. But all of that is, right here on the blog page. So a lot of people don't realize that until they sort of begin with us, after a while. But we always sort of collate some of the best ideas and put it here in the blog. So every once in a while, I'll sort of scroll down. I am going to log into the account. And when you log in, you just start getting started. There's always a pop-up page here. And as you can see, there's a link to that blog post we just talked about. There's another video here of another agent who was doing something slightly different with our tools, getting a lot of leads. So we tend to share what's going on there. This call here, Neil Wolf, has a really cool strategy that he uses on Craigslist. And he gets hundreds of leads every month. Actually, he trends between 600 and 900 leads a month with us. And Craigslist is part of what he does. And you can certainly watch that call to learn about that. Then, of course, down here, there's some more recordings, and there's also the training calls to sign up, like this call today. So another thing here, getting started, we're going to kind of cover this, but there is some information here on, how to set this account up. When you do sign up, our support team kind of sets up the basics, but there's still much more to do. And once you get the setup done, then it starts to run itself. Facebook advertising is a button that you should click into by all means, even if you've never, used Facebook and you're not too interested in Facebook. It's a massive place for capturing leads, and there's a good video here kind of describing what's going on. There's a video here on how to run an ad on Facebook, and then there's some recorded calls here from folks who have done webinars with us and just sort of explaining how it's working and how they use Facebook. But this little picture here is a landing page. A lot of people come to us simply for this landing page, which is, what is your home worth? And this is one of the key tools for generating seller leads. So that is inside the account, how to customize it, how to use all the latest technology with it, and how to run an ad is all on this page here, which is right underneath this Facebook page. Open house, we have a really great system for marketing an open house, whether it's your listing or if you're just holding the open house for another agent, you want to capture leads. You definitely want to be using our system because I know that of all the open house technologies out there from all the marketing companies, nothing generates leads the way that this does. Then here, if you click here, there's a listing presentation. I definitely recommend that you look at this page and you read this page. There's a video here on how to use the text IVR in combination with our listing presentation, which is a really powerful, compelling story. When you're trying to get somebody to sell their home with you, from our perspective, technology is a really important piece. And so how to present our information using the latest technology is all covered here. There's a video here. There's a video here on how to change the logo so it meets your sort of office standards. And then down here is the place to download it, listing presentation. Just start there. And a lot of people will take that presentation and they'll upload it on, you know, their iPads and their tablets and all that stuff. So you can certainly do all that and make it look really good. But even our clients who just print it and put it in a folder have a very compelling, powerful story because of that listing presentation. So before we kind of dive into it, one more thing. You see this click to join the mastermind group, Listings to Leads mastermind group. Definitely join this group because our clients share their ideas all the time here. They say what they like. They show us the ads of what they're using. Here's somebody here, you know, just a bunch of leads in 2 days. And so everybody is taking advantage of our system and kind of sharing what they're doing, right? And why it's working. So, you know, what we're going to talk about today is this is how you do things, sort of, you know, the nuts and bolts ABC. But there's a lot that our clients share. And once you understand, you know, copy this and put it here and do that, well, then it's a matter of, well, how do I do this and get just awesome results? And that's where you really need to be in the mastermind group to get some of the language right and get some of the style of creating your ads right so that you can get a lot of leads and grow your business. So let's go over here to the profile page. Our navigation bar is up here on the top, but the profile page, you kind of got to go do it one time and then you're set, right? You can put your name, and our support team should usually put your picture up there and your name. But if you have a team name, you can put that team name right here and check this box, and this will be the name that kind of replaces and shows up on all the marketing stuff. You can change your password here. There's a couple of places for your email address, and this is really important. These alternate emails are important if you've got an assistant that you want to get tools. Maybe you have a CRM like Realty Juggler or one of the others where if you send a lead to a particular email, well, you put it in this box and then you check the box to the right to send leads to. The rest is sort of as needed. You don't have to really worry about this too much. If you have reviews on Zillow, check this box and we will auto-populate those reviews in various, wherever we can, right? Wherever it makes sense. And if we go down here, we can kind of choose the colors, but our support team normally sets up the template for you, the color scheme, but you can always change it if you want. There are a couple of buttons here, marketing automation setup. You're going to see in a minute, we have a lot of tools that we automatically set up, right? Your listing gets in there, and whether it's coming from a feed or whether you grabbed it or whether you did it manually, all three of those ways, we're going to start creating tools and emailing to you. So this box here means send those to me, right? Send those tools to me. This box here, this is what I really recommend after you've been with us a while and you understand kind of the story that goes around our tools. Then you can check this box and start sending the tools directly to your seller. And they come from your email address and they kind of have a message for your seller. If you have your own YouTube channel, you can click here to authorize and we'll start posting the virtual tours up to YouTube. Just click that. Give access to your channel and check this button here and we'll start auto uploading to YouTube. If you've got other social media stuff, you can set the connection here. Of course, we integrate with Wise Agent and Top Producer for sending leads to, and that can be done too. So you really have to, you know, just sort of do that one time on your profile and there you go. So let's go over here to the listings. And this is where we keep your listings. And like I said earlier, we get them, our partner for getting listings automatically is ListHub. So if your MLS works with ListHub, we usually, our support team can find you and we can put everything inside that account for you. And then listings flow in automatically. However, maybe you don't. In that case, you can use Grab Active Listing up here where you can just drop in the zip code and the MLS ID. And if it's active for sale on Trulia, we'll pull it off of there, okay? And then so when those happen, I wanna kind of point out one thing that's sort of, you know, unusual and what you need to know about listings to leads. I'm gonna click on the single property website. It is in this case, is my background color. This is all mobile optimized. And it has the basics that you would think, right? Description, photos, maps, schools, print brochures all down here. You can scroll down and get all that stuff. And that's cool because we're in real estate advertising and you should have that. But there are a few things that make us very different. One is this is all mobile optimized. Two, if you want to share this to all your favorite social media, we recommend Facebook, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. You just click the Facebook button right here, and it kind of opens up or asks you to log in, and you type in something social, right? Your social media. So don't just paste a link out there like the hundreds of realtors love to do all day long. Put something nice about the house, make it conversational. Whether you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or on Pinterest or even Twitter and Google. And so that's it. But the other big deal that kind of has always differentiated us is over here on the left-hand side, we call these lead generation links. So what you got to think about is when you have a listing in our system, the majority of people don't want to buy this home, even if they clicked on it, right? You know that, I think. You've been in real estate. Realtor.com and NAR will tell you that 1 out of 400 people that sees your home online actually wants that particular home. 1 out of 400, right? So when in our world, we know if they clicked on it, whether it was in an email or they saw it on social media or they saw it on an EFlyer or wherever they saw it, that they are thinking about property. So we want to have links like, what is your home worth? Search all homes. Since it's in Ruskin, Ruskin homes for sale. Since it's under 300K, maybe Ruskin homes under 300K. And when they click a link like that, like I just did, we want to push them to your website. Now, ideally, you've got a good website and it shows the people, what they're looking for, homes in Ruskin. This is just my demo account, so it's kind of pointing to our client's Tampa page. But let's, most helpful to run the corner tab, pause, needed while working. Yeah, of course. We are recording this, and this call goes on our mastermind group. So if you miss anything here and you get distracted, this call I'm going to have up on YouTube, and that's what we're going to do, right? I do that pretty much every time. So anyway, lead generation links are very important. And here is why. They flow through the single property website, the virtual tour, all of our e-flyers, I'm going to show them to you in a minute, and all of our Facebook ads. I'm going to show those to you in a minute, okay? Now, just so you know, we auto-upload to YouTube for you, and we auto-post to WordPress for you. And we also give you a bunch of other tools over here in the blog section. If you click that blog piece, you'll see there are a number of tools. Now, I'm not suggesting that if you don't have a blog strategy that you create one, but for those of you that understand the value of blogging, you can get really great tools right here. Just copy and paste, okay? So as I was saying about those lead generation links, the first thing you got to do, and this is kind of setup, is go up here to the top and it says lead links and logo, right? When you click that, there's 3 green buttons. Just to let you know, if you click the banner and logo, your banner and logo are here. If you need to change it because your logo changed or something, you can click remove and it shows you the dimensions and you upload it, okay? Now, but we are here for lead links. And I want you to understand what we have. Section 1 is where you create links for your website, okay? Now, and these links get associated, like we just saw on the side of that ad, so that when people look at your homes, they can take advantage of the other ideas that might be interesting to you. So I've got a home in there in Marco Island, so I definitely want to have a link that says Marco Island homes for sale, and I want to point to the Marco Island page on my website. If homes fly off the shelves under 700K in Marco Island, well, I want a link that is unique for that. And you'll notice here that in the drop-down it says Marco Island. And what does that mean? That means that the next time a listing comes in the city of Marco Island, it's going to automatically get these 2 links, Marco Island homes for sale and Marco Island homes under 700K. Because I have this box up here checked and this one down here checked, I'm also going to get search all homes for sale as included for all, and what is your home worth, which is included for all. And this is great because sometimes you don't know why somebody clicked on a property. Maybe they have a property and they just saw yours for sale, and so they're thinking, oh, you know what, I want to kind of know that because I want some ballpark information because I'm thinking to sell my home. And then you've got a link on the side of your ad that says, what is your home worth? That's the whole point of lead generation links, is to take advantage of that. So I see a question here. Now's a good time. Is the landing page with a find out your home worth sold for on top of any auto-generated page? No, they are almost always, Kathy, the what is your home worth is almost on by default. Most when you sign up, it's an option for you to choose, and then at that point you just start using it, and we make it a default there. So you don't have to go create one. We actually have one, kind of a simpler but very effective landing page designed for seller lead capture that becomes a default automatically. Okay, so we set up our links, and you may need to spend I don't know, a few minutes, half hour, whatever, setting up those links. And then, as I showed you, by choosing a city like Marco Island and setting the default links, some links are just going to hit there automatically, right? But if you don't, you can always come over here and click the lead gen link box. It's the green box with the chain link on it. And this shows you all the links you've created. You can see I've got a bunch, but you really want to choose like 5, right? 5 links that are relevant to where that property is, okay? So here I've got a Marco Island coming soon. And so I definitely want to have Marco Island homes for sale, right? I've even got a little video here, right, about the areas that I can kind of put it in there. There's fun stuff you can do that by incorporating video in here. But I've got, this home, like I said, it's in Marco Island. So I want to have a link here that says Marco Island homes for sale, Marco Island homes under 700K. And since Marbella is one of those really nice neighborhoods in Marco Island, I also want to give people that option too, because I know people like to buy there. And then, of course, search all homes and what is your home worth. So that's the whole point of creating lead generation links. So when somebody takes the time to click on a property, they actually, we have more opportunities, more ways of getting leads, okay? So since we're beginners, I'm going to go over here to my email, and I'm going to show you the email that I send to everybody. If you want this email, you can email me. I'm at Vince@Listings2Leads, but I want you to know what this email says, because everybody I speak to, I send this message to, okay? Because this breaks down what we do at Listings2Leads, and I think in a simpler way. I think many of you, if you're new to us, find that there's information here and there, and there's all, just so much, and it's just confusing. But this one email kind of covers everything that I think is important. It gets people running quickly and getting results quickly. On the top is a video here that covers all of our tools. It's about 18 minutes long. There are many more tools than I can discuss with you on this call right now. So you can just sit there and see that. Then there's this section here. It says overall getting started. For your new listings, do these things. Share the lead generation links, or choose the right lead generation links, share the single property website, put your branded virtual tour on Zillow or Trulia or KWLS or Crest, and then get your tools out. So if you're new to us and you have listings, I want you to do all these things. And we're going to cover that on this call. After that, there's another call on Facebook. And as I mentioned earlier, Facebook seller lead generation is huge. Building your business, branding is all huge, okay? So if you want to know how to do that, it's all right here in one email. So if you email me at Vince@Listings2Leads, I'll send this to you. But right now, we're going to kind of walk through it. Choose the right lead generation links. And we just kind of looked at that. And I said, yeah, we're going to create them on the lead links page, but we're going to choose this green button and make sure we got the right ones just in case we get the maximum kind of lead generation. As a point, we call those lead generation links, as a side note about lead generation links. And you know how realtors are, because you guys are realtors, you really don't want to be paying attention to details too much. That's just not your, style. But when we talk about lead generation links, I kind of want you to know the difference of what happens when you do take an extra minute. On average, our clients get a 20% click-through rate on those side links. Now, if you've got a nice website, like a market leader site, or something super expensive like Boomtown, or something really inexpensive like a Zillow agent website, it's $10 a month, these sites can capture leads at a pretty good rate. They show people a handful of properties and they say, now please register, right? And for most of our clients, they get a 20% click-through rate. But we've had offices where they spend a minute on every one of these thinking about what are the key price points for this neighborhood, what are the great areas or the neighborhoods in this town, and they get a 50% click-through rate, right? Now, I've been in advertising a long time and online advertising too. I don't know of another company in any industry where 1 out of 2 people can click something to get off of the ad to your website. So I really recommend that you take a couple minutes and think about those lead generation links, because they are very powerful. And if you got a good website, you can take advantage of it. So you can manage it right here. There is a button here, just so you know, this blue one with the wrench and screwdriver. This is where you can click and you can say, hey, I want to change the status from under deposit to active or under contract or just sold. You can also go over here and edit the images. Maybe you've got some new images that your photographer took. You can just click this big button and pick them up, right? But for us, we're good on that side. So we're just going to look at the listings and kind of go through. And I kind of want to remind you of my little letter here. Choose the right lead generation links. Then share the single property website. And I showed you how to share the single property website. You can click Pinterest down here. It's going to open up Pinterest, or and it's telling me to upgrade. I'm going to just say no thanks. And it says, okay, where do you want to post it? Right, that kind of stuff. So great thing, thing about Pinterest is a, what do you call it? It's a photographic based kind of social media deal. So real estate has photos. It's really great to sort of build an audience there. And then LinkedIn, we don't hear much about LinkedIn, but you'll hear on our mastermind group that the people who post there are getting a lot of leads there, and they're getting seller leads, and they're really working out pretty well. So I do recommend you take an extra few seconds and do that. But then we've got the virtual tours. And on the virtual tour, we want you to take the branded virtual tour by clicking the green button and copy this link and put it in whatever system you've got. If you're from like an independent brokerage and you don't have a bunch of technology behind you, put it directly on your listings on Zillow and Trulia. Why? Because if somebody clicks on a virtual tour, they've got a good opportunity of clicking links and getting over to your website again. If you're from Keller Williams, you can put it in KWLS. If you're from any of the Realogy brands, you can put it on Crest and they'll syndicate it for you. But definitely take advantage of that. We email that virtual tour, the branded one, to you as soon as the listing hits. So we send you a single property website and the virtual tour. And if we can auto upload to YouTube. So over here to the right are a couple of other things that are very new or very different and make us, it's unique for listings to leads. And that is, we have an EFlyer campaign and a Facebook campaign for every listing. So if I click here on the EFlyer button, you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about. You'll notice that I've got a just listed flyer, a virtual tour flyer, open house flyer, pending, sold. And for most realtors, EFlyers are about the last thing they want to ever discuss. But I want to point out why our EFlyers are so useful by clicking on the view button here, is that, of course, it's mobile optimized. And of course, it's got a lead generation link. So right out of the email, I can start generating leads there. I can find out what my home is worth in the email, right? Talking about the home, here's my phone number. Nobody wants to call you, but they definitely probably, if they clicked on this link, are interested in homes in Lafayette. So here's Lafayette Homes for Sale. Here's Release Valley, which is a super awesome part of Lafayette. So maybe they want to click there and check those homes out. You kind of get the idea of what that is, right? So that's the nice thing about our EFlyers, is that they have lead generation built into them. But the other unique piece is up here in this text, and it's pre-written for you. And it says, "Dear friends, we have hired Vince Amaze at L2L Realty and to sell our home, and to increase, to help us sell it, we've got this EFlyer. If you could forward it to as many people as you can, that would help us sell our home faster." Something like that, right? And the whole point of this is to get this letter viral in front of your clients, the homeowners, friends and family and colleagues, to get it into their sphere of influence. Because I know everybody likes online lead generation. I'm going to assume that you guys do, because you're working with us at Listings to Leads. But our clients like referrals a whole heck of a lot more, right? Referrals are awesome. And typically for referrals, the way most of you get referrals is you close a transaction, or you meet somebody and you leave them a stack of business cards. Hey, if you know anybody who's ever thinking about real estate, give them my card, right? And that's great. And that's been great for X number of decades. But in this world, we can have your name in front of your clients, friends and family and colleagues a handful of times, right? Them talking about you for, just listed. Here's our virtual tour. We're having an open house this weekend. and this agent is helping us. Please, forward this so we can sell our home. That all these tools show up, but this view under the seller engagement, this is the first tool you should get. It's going to have your banner, it's going to have a few images of the home, and it's going to say, here's all the cool stuff that we're doing for you, right? Email, blogs, WordPress, here's my picture, here's my logo, right? That kind of stuff. It's long and wordy, and we want it to be long and wordy because we want your client to get impressed by all the work you're going to be doing. And that's the first tool that goes. So send that to your client. And then, they'll start getting some flyers now and then. We're going to send them to you. You forward them on. And my email here says, get your auto-generated eFlyer and Facebook ads to your client and call them to make sure they forward them and post the tools, right? Now, we've been doing this for a long time. And I'm sure for you, if you're new to us, this is the first time you heard of anything that crazy, right? But only twice in these 7 years have I heard a client say, I'm not going to do that. That's what I'm paying you. Only twice. Most people say, we love it. We love the interaction from our agents. And the agents love it because your name is getting all over the place, right? And here's a big reason why agents really embrace this piece. If you click the Facebook ad or the Facebook button, you're going to see a corresponding Facebook ad. And I got a just sold one here, and I want you to look at this just sold one. And you're going to see it. This is what it looks like in the email. It's not very fancy. But the whole point of this is your client should copy what is between these red lines and put it on their Facebook wall. Okay? So if I go over to my Facebook wall, let's see what that kind of looks like. Paste and post. Okay? Now, this is coming from me, Vincent Mason, right? And it's not going to look like that. It's going to look like your name at your office coming from your client. So it's a pre-written testimonial with your name and email right there smack dab in the front, right? And if you want on the just sold, when they click on it, you could say, hey, here's some, find out what your home is worth, right? Right here in the pop-up of just sold is a lead capture form right here, built into the just sold flyer, right? In the lead form of, of this property. So lots of ways to capture leads. Great way to interact with Facebook, right? And it's dead easy. We automatically send this stuff to you. Just take advantage of it, okay? So I think, let's see here. We've got over here on the right, listing landing page. We auto-generate that. If you are going to do advanced kind of lead capture with Facebook, this is a great tool to use. There's a tool over here to get onto Craigslist. You click this button here. There's a video to show you how to run an ad or on Craigslist. And then this right here, I don't know if you can see it. I can drag it up and down with my mouse, and I can drop it up here in my toolbar. I've got all kinds of I got all kinds of bookmarks up here. And when you click it, all your listings are in it. And then when you go here, you can say, okay, I want to post this one, right? And it gives you all information, just copy and paste, okay? So that's really what that's for. And I don't know how long you've been in real estate. Craigslist used to be a major hotbed of lead generation. And about 2 years ago, Craigslist turned their website kind of upside down to block the activity of a lot of realtors. And if you were familiar with that, it was shocking, right? Across the country, it was shocking. So what ended up happening is about half of, no, I'd say about 95% of all realtors walked away from Craigslist, right? Because now it was more difficult and they couldn't paste their hyperlinks in there and all kinds of other sad stories. But you see here on Craigslist, on Alexa, this is real-time traffic. Craigslist is number 12 in the United States. So people are spending a lot of time there, and your competition walked away from it 2 years ago. So I've got clients, I set up the offices around the country, and I got a lot of our clients who post a lot of listings there. And as I mentioned earlier in the call, Neil Wolf definitely focuses there. And when you've got a place that's free, that you don't have a lot of competition, it can be worth your while. So I do recommend you think about Craigslist. And of course, there's all the usual old scammy stuff and stuff like that. But watch the Neil Wolf call when you log in and see what he's doing. I mean, this guy's generating a couple hundred leads every month from Craigslist. It's worth paying attention to. So there's a couple of other cool things over here that I'll kind of point out. Over here, underneath the address, you can click a hyperlink at any of these addresses, and it shows you a bunch of tools. A just sold tool, single property website, the seller ad for Facebook, right, for sphere of influence, a Facebook ad, an e-flyer for your database, some print flyers for nearby homes, just sold print flyers. And then there's this nice checklist. Now this, a lot of our clients take this checklist and they print it up here on the top, generate PDF, so that they can present this to their prospective home sellers, right? Because you combine this with a listing presentation in the beginning, and you are like, you know, top 5 percentile in realtors in terms of how much technology you can provide to sell their home. So that's a really cool tool there that you should be aware of. You can see on the left, I've got a bunch of different statuses, from active to just sold to under deposit, coming soon. You can change the status as I showed you earlier by clicking this edit button that's right at the top. And then we've got some other cool stuff. And I think one of the coolest things that I've seen is this listing website up here. So there's some buttons here: create new listing, create a market report. That's pretty cool, actually. And then the listing website. And the listing website, click on this hyperlink here, has a tool. It's a tool. It has all of your listings in it. Okay? So if you've got 1 listing or 2 listing or 20 listings, they're all here. And anytime somebody clicks on any of these pictures or stuff, it opens up a single property website. And what's on that single property website? Well, all kinds of lead capture, right? So that's a great tool to get out there. And not that I want to kind of keep, you know, harping on that Neil Wolf call, but let me show you what Neil, his page looks like. You all have this page. It's automatically there, right? And he's got a little strategy related, well, to kind of converting renters to buyers. He's got a cool lease option story, homes for rent, pre-approved, new construction, all this. And he's got, I think he's got 20 listings in his account, but actually only a handful are his. So it makes him look like a pretty big and a big producer. And that's a cool thing. So he can use this, and what he does is he puts it on Craigslist, right? So let's see if I can Craigslist get us there and see if let's see if I can get us and show you what's happening there, because it is pretty cool. And if you don't see it, you'll probably you know, take you forever to figure out. If you go to the Fort Myers area and you go into apartments and housing and type in Wolf, the Wolf Pack. Yeah, type in the Wolf, because that's kind of his name that he uses, the Wolf Pack. And you'll notice there's a bunch of properties here, right? And he just puts up real basic stuff. He doesn't put up a lot of pictures or anything. And let's see here. But usually he puts this little hyperlink right here. And it says Neil Knows Naples. And it's the, so he's building that brand with Wolf Cat Pack and Neil Knows Naples. If you know anything about Craigslist, you used to be able to click on a link like that, right? You could click on it and get right off Craigslist and go right to your website. But that doesn't occur anymore. So he went and bought himself a simple website domain from GoDaddy, and he points it to our page. So here it says Neil Knows Naples, right? So what happens when I go up here, because it's so simple to read, I can click Neil Knows Naples, right? I can, that's not too difficult. So you got a simple URL. And what happens when I go there? It brings us to that listing website that each of you has that just has a ton of lead capture, right? And we can see here, lease purchase option. This is a landing page created in our system. It's got his banner, but this is all our stuff. You can use all of this. You've got access to all of this. So that's a cool tool. That's a little bit of like what's happening on that Craigslist call. So I definitely recommend that. Landing pages, let's click on landing pages. I mentioned it earlier as we talked about Facebook. We have a lot of landing pages. The landing pages, I think, are one of the most important, a very important piece of online marketing and real estate today. But you can even combine them with letters, and you can combine them with print postcards like just sold, just listed, flip it over, get your homework, right? We've got landing pages for FSBOs, for expireds. But the one that most people want to get a hold of, we got them for growing families and empty nesters. But Property Valuation Plus is probably the best one for capturing seller leads. So you can click that and kind of go through all that, and that's what people use. As I mentioned earlier, if you click the edit page, there's a pre-written article down here. It's a letter somewhere. Download a letter, send an email, view letter. And this is a letter that you can use, and you can edit it if you want, but it's got lead generation built right into it. So if you notice, I click view, I could download the letter or send the letter, send an email, something like that. And all of this is designed to, you send letters to your farm market, right? You send postcards to your farm market. And most of the time you do it, and you put your phone number and email and just hoping and praying somebody's going to pick up the phone and call you. And that's not really what life is like anymore, right? Because we got this internet thing in the way. So if you're going to take the time and mail something to anybody, get our landing page integrated with it. Any one of them, right? This all happened, that letter that I just showed you is the result of one of our office clients. Who was it? Like I said, I set up all the clients. I set up Coldwell Banker in New Jersey somewhere. And it was the beginning of the year, and the client, the agent, one of the agents came up and said, hey, I want to send my annual letter to this neighborhood of 800 homes. Can you help me do my market report this year? And the broker owner is like, yeah. He's like, but what happened last year? Did you get any leads? We did that. What'd you get? Nothing. Zero. So he said, well, great. Well, this year, let's do something different. Let's do a letter, but let's integrate a line so that people can type it in and go get a letter. So right now, what that letter, and this is actually the result of that. It's kind of changed because this is a just sold one. But basically that client sent out a letter in January to the farm market, and it said something like, hey, normally I send you information to keep you on top of real estate trends here in the area, but this year I invested in some technology. And if you want to find out your home value, please go to this website and help yourself. I've taken care of it. That guy got 5 listings in the first 5 months of that year. That was a year and a half ago. And that's the whole point. If you're going to be doing print in any way, integrate our landing pages. That's all I can tell you. Okay. The other thing, email blog, there's a really cool thing that some of you kind of catch on to really late in the game. This is a signature bar. All right. And it's, you can use it just in your signature on Gmail or whatever. And over here, you can type in whatever you want, right? You can type in, like, maybe it's a message, you're corresponding with a client or a prospect. Maybe it's a big kind of information, like something about trends that you're just going to send. Paste it right in this area, and then click send email. And when you send email, it's going to get emailed to you. Over here, it's telling me, oh yeah, it's gone over to Vincent's Oceans, right? And that's my Gmail account somewhere. So when that message comes, it's going to have this signature right in the bottom, okay? And that signature, if you can notice, I can click on get your home value now, right? So inside the email signature, I got a ton of lead gen built into it. And that's the whole point, right? Here's my little email, right? So I said, I sent it to myself, and it's coming in my email right now. Let's give that a second to, and it says Marco Island Market Update. And here is my signature bar, right? Search all homes for sale, Lafayette homes for sale. What is your home worth? Get your home value. My reviews, all that is just built in right here. And that's a cool thing, right? I mean, people actually really love that. So let's see here. I think I gotta click something to continue. So that's up here in the email blog thing. We've got another section here for Video Center. If you have videos that you want to incorporate, maybe a testimonial, maybe an area video, or maybe a big commercial from your company, that if it's on YouTube, you can copy the link and put it in here, and we'll auto associate it to all your tools, or how, you can decide how you want to do that. We've also got text 800 number call capture. And if you're an agent, it starts at $10 a month. And if you're an office, then we have plans at just discounted rates there. But what it does is 800 number call capture, or use a text number, text a number here, and that'll work for you too. Great way of getting leads, because every lead has a phone number, and people absolutely love that. And then over here, we got analytics to show you some of the views. Contact support is here. And I recommend you always put your questions right here, because all of us watch this box here. We do not all watch whatever kind of floaty chat panels, and so people get lost there sometimes. So I recommend putting your questions right here, and that's the best way. And then of course we've got tutorials, and if you have a question like Craigslist, or you have a question on landing pages, you can just type in the search right here and get to your answers pretty quickly. So everybody, that's kind of it. That's a lot of information for one day, and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to point, let's see here, I do have a question. Can you say my email again? Yeah. Vince@listings2leads.com. And let's see, I think I can put it here. And if you want, just send me a message and just say, hey Vince, can I have your cheat sheet? Right? I'll send this to everybody, and you can see that there. Is the landing page with a find out? Yeah, we got that question earlier. And so if there aren't any more questions, I want to remind you to join the mastermind group. I cannot stress it enough, because there's just so much good information being shared here. Because, some of this is technically, I know it's a little overwhelming, at the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. Then there's this art of like how to really make this thing boom, right? How to really make it take off. And that's where you want to kind of lean on everybody else, right? And they'll figure it out for you. So thanks everybody. Thanks for your time today. Lean on the contact support page if you need help. And thanks for joining us. It'll take you a while to learn everything. But I can tell you one thing, and I see it this week. In real estate advertising, there's so many tools out there. There's so many great stories out there, and I think the realtors are like the worst when it comes to chasing that new shiny object. But so many of our clients come to us and then they go away because they hear something cool. They come back and they go away again to hear something cool, and they come back. And that's because we have so many tools in here. If there is something important in real estate advertising and lead generation, we're going to have it in here. So I really recommend that you learn what we've got and continue to keep up with us. That'll be the hardest thing, is for you to keep up with us. We add new tools every 2 weeks, and we're going to produce a lot faster than you can, and even than our competitors can. We just do, right? So that's the value. That's one of the values of Scott. He's one of those kind of paranoid individuals, and he can't sleep, and he just is always looking for ideas, right? And you're lucky that you found us, because we're gonna have cool tools all the time, and they're always gonna have a focus on generating leads, not just looking good. We're gonna make this look good. We're doing a bunch of technology stuff. We're always improving the look and feel of stuff, but there are a lot of tools. Learn them, and you will have more tools than I think anybody in any company has. So thanks so much for your time, everybody. Have a great week, and keep learning and growing with us.